I want to talk about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie because there is a lot to talk about. I've been a diehard fan of Five Nights at Freddy's ever since the first game released back in 2014. Originally, the lore was pretty interesting, but has since become way too convoluted to follow. So much so that many modern theories on the game are met by a lot of hate and criticism, with no one being able to keep their story straight.
This theory is literal cancer.
Go touch grass.
With all the confusion, it's nice to return back to a simpler time when the game was just about a few missing kids and the main question we had was, who murdered them? This movie touches on exactly that, while adding an additional storyline that makes you genuinely feel connected with the main characters and plot. The Five Nights at Freddy's movie is one that many fans of the series would enjoy, but it also fails to fully capture the spirit of the original games. One thing I was very surprised about, which Moist Critical brought up in his review, is that there isn't too many jump scares. For a series that's built itself off jumpscare horror, it's a little disappointing. Yes, I know jump scares are a bit cliche, but in this case, I think the movie really could have benefited. At the core, these animatronics are goofy looking, and trying to make them look menacing in any way just doesn't work. Yes, you see them killing people, but without the shock factor, it comes across like slapstick comedy, honestly. Forgive me for the tangent, but it cracks me up that out of all the animatronics in the movie, the freaking cupcake gets the most kills. You never even see the thing move in the game, so I'm just like, why? I digress. Aside from jump scares, something the games do well is set up a foreboding atmosphere through audio cues. Partially, this movie accomplished this, but didn't capitalize on it as much as they should have. Towards the beginning, there was a lot of use of static and different electrical errors to make things unnerving, but it didn't go much farther than that. Two things I appreciated the movie doing was adding iconic sounds from the game, like Chica moving around in the kitchen, and Foxy's little dum diddly doo diddly dee song from the games. But honestly, even a distorted Freddy laugh or more hallucinations from Mike would have been nice, but we didn't get any of that. Instead, the movie quickly removes any sort of horror elements from the animatronics by making them do silly things like build pillow forts with our protagonists. Come along with me. While this was funny, it's not FNAF. Yes, I am aware the games always had an odd sense of humor like Boopin' Freddy's nose on the poster, and you can't forget the exotic butters. No one can forget exotic butters.
Exotic butters.
But it never took away from the overall horror experience. By the end of the movie, there's absolutely no sense of mystery or dread left, and it felt lackluster. Personally, I don't think Springtrap should have been in the movie at all. It would have been best to leave this movie off with discovering that these vessels were possessed by dead children, while leaving their motivations and backstories more of a mystery. It would have been cool to have hints and suggestions throughout the movie of what had happened, but keep it coded, similar to what the games did. When Vanessa spelled out that Springtrap was William Afton and killed all the kids, it made the exposition feel much more forced and took away from the immersion. I know I'm being very hard on the movie, but I actually really liked it. Even though I felt the movie was too lighthearted and comedic than it should have been, the story made sense, and it aligned pretty well with what the game set up. Children were killed and possessed the animatronics, William Afton maintained some level of control over them, explaining their murderous intent, but ultimately, the animatronics turn against Afton when the truth is revealed. I also really liked how they tied in Mike Schmidt's story with Freddy's over his missing brother. Ooh, another nice touch is how they tied in the themes of pictures and nightmares, as these are recurring themes throughout the games as well. Overall, in terms of lore and world building, the movie did its research, but in terms of capturing the spirit of the original games, this movie is much to be desired. I can appreciate the movie for what it is, and I'm happy we got the adaptation we did, but it could have been much better in its approach. So, those are all my thoughts. Let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments down below. I'm really excited to talk with you more about it. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to join the Novice Nation. And as always, remember when life gives you coins, make one-ups. See you in the next video, guys.